With this month being February, as well as this being a heavily requested topic, I thought it would be a good idea to talk about the various romances and couples and attractions seen within Transformers media. With Transformers fans over the past 10 years especially getting more enjoying of these romance dynamics in their media, especially those IDW comics, I thought it would be a perfect idea. I will preface this though, I won't mention every single romance in Transformers, since that would make for a very lengthy video and get outdated extremely quickly, but instead talk about some really cute ones from Transformers media throughout the 40 years of the franchise that are most enjoyed or just neat ones I like in my opinion. This video will only discuss canon relationships. Fanon or ships will not be considered in this list, as well as anything tied to Kiss players. That'll be for a future video, potentially reviewing that abomination. But let's get on with the video. The first dynamic I want to talk about is a favorite amongst many Transformers animated fans, with a tragic story between Black Arachnia and Optimus, as seen in the Transformers animated series. Black Arachnia was once Elita 1, a fellow Autobot cadet with the likes of Optimus and Sentinel, respectively. This turned for the worse when on a mission to an alien world, Elita 1 was left behind due to having seen perish during the assignment. Alive though, under the new name Black Arachnia, she would join the Khans and have a love yet disdain for Optimus. Throughout the series, you will see a very similar dynamic to that a Batman has with Catwoman in the various Batman comics. This could be because of Derek J. Wyatt, art director and other roles on the Transformers animated project, also worked on similarly vibrant Teen Titans back in the 2000s and other DC project as a character designer. I just feel like that he may have had that part in being a part of both those DC and Transformers projects, that this reference feels extremely at home. I do enjoy more interesting dynamics in Transformers media than the usual ones seen in media, and this is definitely one of the more standout entries between this distinct version of Optimus and the 2018 Hall of Fame favorite, Black Arachnia. The second dynamic I want to talk about is the height/personality difference between Tailgate and Cyclonus seen in later IDW comics. This is such a really enjoyable dynamic that I enjoy, with the more emotional, tinier bot of Tailgate a personal favorite of mine in the IDW comics due to how he first were at odds mainly with Cyclonus, despising Tailgate for being opposites, later evolving into a more romantic relationship. This would make sense for the more grizzled and darkened Cyclonus due to the previous events in the comics, but over time, Cyclonus learns his emotions, then starts to fall in love with Tailgate, thus cementing him more in the minds of fans as a lovable characters who many enjoy just for that dynamic. Personally, I enjoy them as separate characters. I enjoy Tailgate's personality and the energy given by the writers, giving this more forgotten character the love it deserves and a newfound popularity. Cyclonus, on the other hand, is a proud warrior and I enjoy his aesthetic, especially his IDW design. The whole darker purple and more grizzled look makes for a more formidable warrior, plus that moment against Starsaber made him a favorite in these comics. These polar opposites are liked primarily for their differences and the whole enemies to lovers dynamic seen in a lot of media nowadays. The third dynamic I want to talk about is an unlikely pair, similar to the one above from the IDW comics, being hopeless romantics of Chrome Dome and Rewind. Both of these characters have had it rough in the comics, but when they got together, it shook the fandom when these two got together in the IDW comics. Being a genuinely more well-received dynamic, with both of these bots being tied to memories, Chrome Dome being a brain surgeon and Rewind being a data archivist. Their more clingy and public displays of affection made them adored by fans in the time later in IDW. I won't spoil, but this one gets rocky later on in the comics, so I highly recommend you read more of the Transformers comics to find out more about these two. Many fans especially enjoy the height difference in this being one of the first gay relationships in Transformers, but only time will tell if this will become more of a mainstay for both these characters due to the popularity of this dynamic. These two Transformers have been a slam hit since Beast Wars, that being Airazor and Tigertron. These two have an interesting relationship, with Tigertron being a more independent, cool-headed, and stoic character, while Airazor being a more adventurous and brave type, making these two signature amongst the romances seen in the Beast Wars cartoon. Many enjoyed that later on these two formed the dangerous Tigerhawk, an extremely powerful fusion between Airazor and Tigertron, forming one of the most formidable soldiers in Beast Wars, though this was very short-lived in the series. Being a more classic dynamic, these two saw presence in other Beast Wars tied media due to it being a defining part of these two characters. I really do hope that with the introduction of Airazor, that we may see Tigertron in Rise of Beast as a secret character. I enjoy this cool cat and would love to see the chemistry between him and Airazor on screen. I know this one is something you guys have all been waiting for me to mention this. Knockout and Breakdown were a popular dynamic seen in Transformers Prime fan spaces, with eventually becoming a reality in the IDW comics due to their popularity. Not much is really talked about since these two are so popular that almost everyone has heard about their dynamic. Though if you want to learn more, I highly recommend staying away from the fan media and watching clips of Knockout and Breakdown and Prime in order to see what these two characters were eventually made into lovers later in the Transformers media, aka the IDW comics. There are crushes that have happened. Back in G1, Autobot Powerglide had two different romances. The Autobot Moonracer back on Cybertron, as well as the human who he enjoyed flying around. Powerglide in the end was the ladies' man 2217 of that timeline, and it was evidently clear in his G1 portrayal. Though Seaspray was given a romance with a humanoid alien in later episodes, in which these two enjoyed each other's company. Overall, these two G1 characters spotlight episodes in Season 2. They are not the most deep, yet should be mentioned since we have barely seen these bots since the G1 days represented in media. Overall, I wanted to finish this video with a more comedic surface level crushes that are more for comedy than anything, this being Sideburns' love of red sports cars as seen in the 2001 Robots in Disguise show, the comical love of Skybite with poetry, as well as some of the more ridiculous attractions and fixations found in the Transformers universe. Overall, I wanted to make this video since a bunch of you guys have been asking me for more videos like this, as well as some more information to give you all. So I delivered for Valentine's Day. I hope you guys stick around next video, because I'm hopefully going to bring some analysis for you on the Decepticons, mainly their more atrocious acts in their cause. So I hope you guys stay tuned and stick around for some more content.